18 years ago, the Edmonton Oilers trailed the San Jose Sharks 2-0. Came home, got a big hit for Braffy Torres, an overtime winner from Sean Horkoff in Game 3. Went on to take the Sharks in 6, beat Anaheim in the next round, and go all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Edmonton opened for that kind of turnaround on just a gorgeous Friday afternoon in the City of Champions. That man, Darcy Kemper, looking to give the Kings a 3-0 series stranglehold. Ready, the former Oiler, Warren Vogel, eyes the opening faceoff, won by the Kings and drilled in by Mikey Anderson of Los Angeles. We're underway. Last 3 playoff series between these two clubs. Edmonton won 6 out of 10 games played at Rogers Place. It's Connor Brown working it along the boards for Evander Kane. Henrik the center of this line, and Kane wires one wide. Kulak and Nurse started defensively for Edmonton, and it's Kulak skipping one down low. Nurse up top, redirecting at the far post. Kane unable to tuck one home. Back to Kulak, who juggled, struggled to maintain at center. And now Darnell Nurse will blister one toward Darcy Kemper. Reset for the Kings, who won the first 2 games, scoring 6 goals in each. 6-5 on Monday and 6-2 on Wednesday. Fiala centering pass dangerously to Byfield, turns and shoots as Pickard able to flick one aside, and then Fiala off the side of the net to Ferrier, tried to center, picked off by John Klingberg, who may have been Edmonton's best skater on Wednesday night, Louis.
Yeah, Jeb, did a beautiful shot pass on the assist on the Draisaitl goal, jumping right in there, not playing in a long time, did a pretty good job in a fast-paced game.
Victor Arvidsson had the other goal, a tip in the third period of Wednesday night's Game 2 loss. Kings put it away, scoring 3 times in the next 4.5 minutes to put the game out of reach. Anderson a reset, one adjustment for LA. Trevor Lewis jumps in the lineup, the veteran of 104 playoff games, all but 20 with the Kings, and he, like Kopitar and Doughty, a 2-time Cup winner. So back to 12 forward, 6 defense for the Kings. The Oilers, Arvidsson to Leon Draisaitl. He'll drop it off. Nurse a shot and rocket it on a play. I believe the Oilers over the years. McDavid wins the draw. A 4-point night as Edmonton rallied in Game 1 from 4-0 down, tied the game late and to no run. Brown wanted to call on McDavid, not forthcoming. The puck ends up rolling toward Pickard, and he'll, at the last movement, move it to Darnell Nurse and away from Andrei Kuzmenko. Top line sizzle for the Kings in the first 2 games. 17 points. Here's McDavid spinning, checked by Nugent Hopkins. What a setup! And Nugent Hopkins buries it. 1-0 Edmonton. First lead of the series for the Oilers.
An anxious Rogers play starting this game. They came in trying to get it going, but they know their team's down 2-0. They have to have a good start. This is what the fans here thought should have been a penalty. Quick look by McDavid. Gets back into the play, no call. And then it's McDavid again. Little chop on the puck. And the second support by Hyman finds Nugent Hopkins in the slot, and he buries it for his first point in 3 games. And it's a big one. The first lead, as you mentioned, the Oilers have had this series. They've come out strong in game number 3.
For Ryan Nugent Hopkins, it's his first goal since he had a hat trick against Seattle on March 22nd. So he needed it, and so did the Oilers. They take a 1-0 lead. Hyman and McDavid with the helpers. Trevor Moore, 2 games, scored a goal in the opener. Run it back to Bouchard. Shot partially deflected up on the plexi, handled and cleared by LaFerriere. Here's Byfield challenging Darnell Nurse, who worked him over in the last regular season matchup and got suspended in game 82 for his trouble.
Well, you know, if you're getting that much attention from the opposition, you're doing something right. And Quinton Byfield has been a thorn in the Oilers' side. He's been heavily involved in both games. The most played forward combined in the 2 games to start this series.
And Mark Paulson had such a difference with Byfield moving to center ice this year. Kuzmenko picked up at the deadline. That gave the top line someone to play with. And Byfield has been excellent off the end boards. No live hop there. Quite a different hop than you'd get at Crypto.com arena. That one bounded up in the air and is routinely cleared by McDavid up to Kulak, who shoots it in. Gowdy trying to reverse, taken away. Centering pass intended for McDavid. Picked off by Deneau. Chipping is more, and he got belted by Kulak. Bouchard had 3 assists in the opener. The drop to Leon Draisaitl, who scored in both games. And has 19 of the 20 games they've played against one another the last 4 years. Shoots it in. Finishing hit with Olsen. The Kings are able to get it clear. Kuzmenko tried to drop it for Kopitar. Deflected high in the air by Gavrikov. But eventually corralled and cleared by Bouchard, who whips it past Arvidsson. Spin move left wing. Hits the net. Shoots and a save. Juicy rebound again. This one taken by Kuzmenko and safely cleared out to Adrian Kempe. Backs his way in. Kopitar. With 2 Oilers on him, he'll drop it down low. 6 1/4 gone on first period. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has opened the scoring here in Game 3. Oilers have fallen behind 4-0 and 3-0 in the first 2 games. Sent indeed. Klingberg, a blast that ends up in the protective mesh with 13:23 to go in a first period. Nugent-Hopkins wins the faceoff in the neutral zone, playing with McDavid and Hyman tonight. The line hooked up for the first goal of this hockey game, and it's spilled in by McDavid. Hyman breaks up a cycle from Anderson. Nugent-Hopkins escapes with a shot, a save made by Kemper. Both former Red Deer Rebels. Sent in by LaFerriere, and after it will be Bouchard. Bearing down on him was Kevin Fiala. And now you've got Nurse looking up ice for Bouchard. Popped off his stick, stayed right on the blue line, and eventually chipped in for Byfield, who swung it down low, and LA would make a change. McDavid building speed. Crowd rises in anticipation, but Kempe runs right at him. And we have interference. Kuzmenko got in there as well, and indeed, that's the call. Draisaitl wins the faceoff. Bouchard pounds it, scores! 2-0 Edmonton. The Oilers needed exactly 3 seconds for their first power play goal of the series.
What a blast by Bouchard. Anze Kopitar is irate about something off the faceoff here. And you're going to see this Draisaitl in here for this draw. They've been great on the faceoffs early on. He felt he was interfered with right there by Draisaitl. They get tied up right off the draw, and they get entangled. And Draisaitl kind of bulldozes through, doesn't let Kopitar get into that lane, and then Evan Bouchard, who just walks to the middle and absolutely blasts us down Main Street. Great screen in front by Corey Perry. Nothing to see for Darcy Kuemper to find its way home. And Drew Doughty's having a conversation with the official saying, hey, that's a pick, that's an interference. They got entangled on the draw, but it was a goal on the ice. They're not going to override it. 2-0 Edmonton.
Bouchard from Draisaitl at 8:43, and again, the celebration. Puts the brakes on, feeds McDavid from behind the net, angled out. Bouchard to drive, Jeffers on, piercing Kemper, wrapped around Hyman and Kemper. And at the far post, and will freeze a shot, sifted in the corner by Kemper, and now Warren Foegele with Edmonton enjoying a 2-0 lead. Steal Trevor Moore, trying to nudge it inside, intended for Foegele, who finishes his jack. A second time on Ty Eberson, absorbed the most hits in the league this year. Connor Brown will fork it across to Kulak, and it's a reset for the Oilers. Eberson on to Brown. Scored 13 times during the regular season. It's a punch. And Kane has officially announced his presence in the series.
And Clark was a little skipped up on that one too. His face went into the glass. He just caught him in the back of the shoulder. A little bit bit more than numbers. I'm sure that would have been called that hit on the youngster, but Kane getting his feet moving.
Frederick looks to be the son of Hammercloth, chipped up to Jeff Malott. And he'll move into the right-hand side where he's shot back into the corner by Picker. Shot taken by Hammercloth. Towed aside by the Oilers' 33-year-old goaltender. Wallman with 9.5 to go in this first period. Edmonton with a 2-0 lead. Frederick gets it in deep. Oilers have scored 5 on 5 and on the power play. They'll start off. Here's a lead for Diallo Laferriere. Now Byfield handled his Bouchard. Up to Mikey Anderson. Around one man. Second still by Bouchard. And tossed the other way by Frederick. Doughty lead pass for Laferriere. He got banged into by Arvidsson. Byfield once again got worked out by Darnell Nurse. No quarter given there. Here's Draisaitl streaking in right-hand side. Backhand center pass. Cued off Anderson and almost inside the near post. Emerson shot drifts wide. Handled by Laferriere. Wheels back to center. He got blasted as well. But pulls in another thunderous hit. He's had a couple times.
Yeah, he's been looking for the hits too, and every time Edmonton lays the body, the crowd goes nuts, and that just motivates you to hit a little bit more. The Kings came out hitting first. Edmonton's responded.
Kempe to Kopitar. His shot off the rush. Flicked aside by Picker. The goals of the team leader in hits during the regular season. Watches as Nugent Hopkins and Kulak look to clear, and Kulak does. Now Wallman over the line with Hyman. The trailer is Nugent Hopkins. Edmondson on him, and he drilled Hyman against the boards. Stanley Cup playoffs start. Who would have thought it 15 months ago? A dart up the middle of the draw. Fumble! Kissed the pad. Calvin Pickard on its way by. Vogel. Anderson a blast. That was uncorked. Deneau comes up with it on deflection back to Downey. Kings right off that neutral zone draw. Good look. And Vogel will stop. Here's King. Chipping and charging with Connor Brown alongside. Fetches it into Mikey Anderson. Vogel reversing up the right-hand side. And tucked back inside the other blue line by Trevor Moore. Lindbergh. 40 points in 64 playoff games. Told me this morning he loves this time of year to land. He's feeling physically fit. Ready to roll. Good shot stuffed by Roman. Stayed with it though. Byfield goes to work against the aforementioned Klingberg. Whistled around the boards, Edmondson. One-timer Gavrikov sailed wide. Collected by Hyman. Knew he was going to get hit by Byfield. Played it back to Klingberg. And then smacked up the boards by Roman to Zach Hyman. Gavrikov backhanded up to Byfield. Hyman, who set up the game's first goal, scored 7 times as Edmonton dispatched LA last year in 5 games.
And you made a good point there for Hyman taking that hit on the wall. In the first 2 games, the forecheck of the Kings has turned over puck in the offensive zone, and it's cost Edmonton. Hold on to the puck, weather the hit, make the right play, and Hyman does.
Draisaitl, Coburn, and Bouchard snapped it between the wickets of Arvidsson. That was available. Kempe burst the speed around Draisaitl. Hard to the net. Saved it by Picker. Rebound off the top. Could not take it home. Picker bulldogs swing. And Edmonton maintains a 2-0 lead. Icing call coming. No, they'll wave it off. Excuse me.
Big task by Stuart Skinner and a couple saves. They think the whistle's gone. Kempe's still tangled up in the zone with Nurse and Bouchard. Bouchard pointed and said, hey, it's still on. Get out of the zone.
I think most players thought it was icing, but it was waved off in the last instant. Here's Trevor Lewis flinging one high and wide for distance. Hellenius is plowing his way into Perry. He also got popped from the backside by Malott. Lifted in by Darnell Nurse. After it is Matthias Ekholm protecting. Now to Emerson. Kulak a shot. Hit the traffic in front. And the net once again dislodged as Frederick a collision with first Clark and then the goalpost.
I don't either.
And I'll tell you, there was some humming going between the benches in that commercial timeout. Corey Perry, Trent Frederick from the Edmonton bench got in it with Melanius, Malott, and Lewis, and they went right in front of me. I'll tell you what they were saying, but hostility.
Lead pass just a little bit far. I thought ice time might have come up, Louis, because he got a little sensitive at one point.
He's chirping for being a fourth liner. Like, what's wrong with fourth liners?
Here's more shot. That fluttered wide. Emerson up the right-hand side, and Brown clears back to center. Deneau from Edmondson is shoveled in deep, and Emerson once again able to collect as LA completes a line change. 4.5 to go, first period. Even strength goal, Nugent Hopkins set up by Hyman and McDavid. That was followed by a power play goal right off a face-off. Bouchard from Draisaitl. Here's McDavid building speed. Attacking, forced out wide by Anderson. Swings out to Bouchard, lost the handle. Recovered with a poke check on Fiala. Still a 3-on-2 for the Kings. Fiala, a brief bobble, has to hand off to the trailer, and Downey's wrist shot picked away by Pickard. Rebound McDavid. Hit stress on the LA defense. So wrist shot against Fiala, who was back defensively, and that was blocked. Fiala doing a nice job of staying in the lane. Byfield handles his way through center and backhanded in deep. Bouchard. By Nugent Hopkins. And once again, the little line change for Edmonton. Swinging up ice, Arvidsson and Draisaitl. Bouchard locates Wall. Look behind the LA defense, picked up by Yamamoto. Edmonton up the middle. Kuzmenko behind. Off that miscommunication. Draisaitl with a motion. Knocked off his stick and recovered by Wall. Now a penalty away from the play. Do we have one each way?
Yep, both of them. Edmondson and Draisaitl.
Familiarity breeds contempt. There's plenty of contempt between these two clubs. And that's why you love the Stanley Cup playoffs. No such thing as a friendly rivalry. Nor should there be. It's hockey.
Ton of respect for each other, but it goes right out the window.
Here's Kopitar against McDavid. Cross ice to Doughty. And then wide open Kempe. Shot score. And LA gets on the board. That's his fourth goal of the series. And Edmonton's lead down to 2-1.
Time and space, and this guy is picking corners. Adrian Kempe. I mean, this shot is perfectly placed. Game 2, it was the first shot that Calvin Pickard faced was a Kempe shot. He put it up over top of the right shoulder blocker. This time he goes up over the glove. And Pickard's pretty far out here. Good entry into the zone by Doughty. The little stop up. He finds Kempe coming a little bit late. He's got time to walk. And just as the stick gets in that lane, I don't think it deflects. It might off of McDavid's, but it goes up over top of the glove and finds the back of the net, and Kempe remains red hot.
Hopkins off the draw. Moves into the offensive zone. Change of pace on Yamamoto. And angles to a wide open Klingberg. Loads and fires. Rebound Arvidsson. Inside to Nugent Hopkins. Drop pass Roman. Makes a move around Byfield. Then kicks it back. Klingberg looking for a lane. Not there just yet. So he'll deliver to Arvidsson. Now Roman will take a skate. Kopitar an assist on the scoring play as well for Los Angeles. He's got 6 points in the series, playing his 100th career playoff game. Klingberg down low to Connor Brown. Shadowed by Anderson. Sharp cut, then tried to shovel it inside. McDavid broke it up. And here come the Kings. 35 seconds left in the 4-on-4. LA has cut it to 2-1. Kempe shoots again. Smothered by Kulak and played back out to Doughty. Now looking to rev themselves back up. Here's Moore. Trying to put it through Kulak. No skate over. And the play guys in the corner. Hammercock shrinkens the legs. To recover the puck. Henrique Pablo. 4-on-4 is over. Back to 5-on-5 with a minute to go in the period. LaFerriere shoots it in. Bouchard. Hard on looking for Bouchard, ahead Woolman, and now Frederick. Kopitar smacked it ahead for Fiala too far. And this will be an icing call. Give us a promising start, but Adrian Kempe, Kings on the board. That was an important goal. And it's just a 2-1 game as we begin the second period with LA getting it in the forecheck. A second pass skipped off the heel of Deneau's stick. He was wide open in the slot. And Brown was able to bring it back through center and allow Edmondson to regroup. Kulak gathering steam and listed down deep. 2 games in this series. LA 4-0 and 3-0. Edmondson out to a 2-0 advantage before the Kempe goal. Here's Draisaitl. Face on the 72nd goal. Blitz by Kulak. Rebounded by Anderson. On ice, audio revealing Kane's frustration on that tip. Here's Podkolzin. Centering pass on target. Arvidsson shouting off the heel in front. And you've got Draisaitl. Curled it back to Arvidsson. Through on Kopitar. Eventually Podkolzin and Anderson was good. Anderson effective body positioning, but Podkolzin stole the puck from him. Here's Woolman to pass. Brown flew on it down.
Oh, did he ever eat that blast up, though? Paying the price.
Up the gut for Arvidsson. Moves it along to Brown. Gets low with the score. And Arvidsson chipped it to an open area. Nurse scampered over to make a play down low. LA eventually will win. I didn't thought he would have been field goal.
Kempe's a little shaken up on that one. Really gingerly coming back to the zone.
Hopkins won a battle against Kuzmenko. And now Bouchard gets right around Gavrikov. To the net with a wrister off the crossbar.
Guys had the bats up on the bench. They thought that was in.
Bouchard trying to center. Put it on that block. Gavrikov on the left hand of Darcy Kemper. So a couple of near misses for the Oilers. Right off the hop.
Full court press here to start this second period.
Here starts finding it down low. Trent Frederick. Drive by through McDavid. Edmondson up to Philip Deneau and then back to the Oiler line. Anderson with Frederick prying it loose from Fiala. Frederick moving a little better tonight, dumping it in, getting in on the check against Edmondson. Kulak. Jostled free. Fiala will spin it the other way. Nearly 3 minutes gone. Second period, Oilers still leading 2-1. Gordon spins for the Kings. The right-handers on the ice right now on the back end for LA. Clark will come off as the Kings get it in deep. Kulak to Corey Perry. Right under his old rival Trevor Lewis, and then it's shot back in by Gavrikov. Lewis. Hits Lewis. Perry quickly in the point ball. Up for a cover. Perry staggers to his feet, drive back. Spencer. And a save made by Pickard. Kings really pulverized Perry there in the corner.
He's a big kid, so is his dad. And those are the two that were having words between the benches, Helenius and Perry, in that first period, just going at one another. Helenius, a big kid, unafraid to play the physical game. You saw it right there. Big play.
Live speed, I didn't see much else there.
No penalty there. First power play for the Kings.
Kings are 5 of 10. Here's a centering pass from Kuzmenko. Pickard's stick made contact with that puck and dislodged it from Kuzmenko. Tough to tell. Pickard's old school. He'll get involved. Fiala steps in. Byfield trying to give it back to him. Deflected away by Kulak. Out there with Henry, Nugent Hopkins, and Emerson on the PK. Which has been riddled for 5 goals in 2 games. Kopitar surveys the interior. Inside to Byfield. Back to Kempe. Slide past Fiala. Shot to save. Calvin Pickard. David on the PK in game 2. Not yet on this particular Kings power play, but the Oilers came up with it off the draw, and it was rifled down the ice immediately. Now Janmark, Walman, and Nurse, the penalty killing quartet for the Oilers. Good job by Kempe to hold the zone for Los Angeles. Out to Fiala. Hard pressure from Janmark. Forces a giveaway. Nurse drove it up the boards, held in Fiala. Kempe to Byfield. Double team. Fiala taking a shot. Dislodged by Janmark. Nurse back behind the Walman. After line, Kuzmenko around the boards. Kopitar. Kempe up top. Dishing off to Fiala. Now it's Kuzmenko. Kopitar. Tried to center. Picked off. Walman on his backhand. Knocked out by Kempe across to Fiala. Now a minute to go on the Kings power play. LA looking to tie this game. Kempe. Byfield. This game passing to Kempe. Knocks it outside the zone.
Much more aggressive penalty kill by Edmonton.
Here's Fiala from Kempe. Walks in, shoots, and scores. And the Kings have tied the game. That's Fiala's second. And we are tied at 2 in Game 3.
Just talked about how good of a shooter he is when he lets it go. Excellent penalty killing here to start for Edmonton. They're much more aggressive than they've been in the series. Pushing from middle to wall and down low from high to low to just not allow anybody with a lot of time on their stick. But Fiala gets a moment here with this puck. Walks in, and we talked about how deadly that shot is. Watch how he just waits. And again, this one might ride up the stick of Janmark. I mean, as he's taking this puck, Janmark digs in, similar to the first goal by L.A. Kempe. Right at the moment of the release, it might ride up the blade.
Tied this one. McDavid.
The Draisaitl. Perry on his line. That along to Perry by Draisaitl. Corey Perry come up with it. So after the icing ball, Resnobla goes to McDavid and Draisaitl paired together. And it's Draisaitl keeping pace on Kopitar. Back to Klingberg. McDavid. He'll challenge Gavrikov. Roll behind the net. Using Draisaitl as a screen. One-timer Klingberg. And that's the rebound. Available. McDavid. Draisaitl with a save. Darcy Kemper. Lunging for the denial. Here's Walman. Pressure maintained. McDavid tried to center. That was deflected away. Kopitar streaking for the puck. Draisaitl holds it in. McDavid. Perry. One-timer Walman. Darcy Kemper and the rebound to Kuzmenko. He'll chip off the glass and surround the Kings. And a 2-2 tie.
Weather a storm there on that shift. Wow. Plays under pressure.
Again, it was McDavid and Draisaitl creating the havoc. Now Fogle and Moore trying to create their own. Janmark will muscle it right back to center ice. Galley will wrist it down deep, taken by Anderson. Halfway through the hockey game, 30 minutes completed. Rogers Place. Massive game. Fogle is shot into a crowd, and Pickard stymied as he tried to enter the LA zone. You've got Klingberg. McDavid pulled it behind Trevor Moore. Gowdy up the left-hand side. Anderson didn't get it out. McDavid sent a pass, skips over to Nugent Hopkins. Hyman burrows his way in, but couldn't thread it through to McDavid. And now here's Warren Fogle. Chipping and charging. Walman caught a piece of him, and that's going to be interference against Jake Walman of Edmonton. Face-off win for Kopitar. Stepping up Kempe. Tried to center. That was deflected. Nugent Hopkins, Henry, Kulak, and Emerson. The force him out for Edmonton. Fiala got tangled with the official and lost the possession. He's frustrated with the official right now. Nugent Hopkins, meanwhile, it's Adam Henry. Short-handed. And save made. Darcy Kemper will elect to keep the play moving.
Good save on the glove.
Brown and Janmark out there with Nurse and Bouchard. Byfield, a little give and go with Kuzmenko. Threw it across. Janmark got there first and cleared back to center.
Noticeable difference on the penalty kill, Jack. And for Edmonton, they had to, because whatever they were doing wasn't working, but they've been much more aggressive on the puck carrier. No time and space.
Bouchard, the clear, got it through. Kopitar, Brown, short-handed. Down, Darcy Kemper. A man stop, and now the lead pass Kuzmenko. Out of the reach of Brad Clark. Anderson back defensively. Arvidsson and put Colson up ice. Bouchard and Nurse. Hits the line for Trevor Moore. Deneau. Back to Moore. Doughty. Snapshot. Score! And LA with another goal late in the power play.
When it's late on the power play, here's the chance created by Nugent Hopkins. Nice little pass to Henrique, makes the move, tests the glove. That's a great save by Kemper. And then Connor Brown with the speed, get to this puck first, elevates, great save once, and then the second chance by Janmark denied. And on the ensuing play down the ice, the quick wrister with a screen in front. Warren Foegele's right on top of Calvin Pickard. And for Drew Doughty, he just knows he's got a layered screen in front of the goaltender. No chance to see that one as he zips that one through traffic.
That one, 21 seconds left. Pickard will knock it down off an LA dumping. Here's Klingberg. So the Kings getting late power play goals. And now from the 2-1 deficit to the 3-2 lead. McDavid looking to get it back with Draisaitl and Hunt. But it's Foegele. Getting away with puck possession and getting it in deep. Klingberg working him over. Puck out to Draisaitl. He'll get it back from Hunt. Building speed from the neutral zone. Gives it up. Zach Hyman headed for the net. Inside the centering pass. First hit hard by LaFerriere. Draisaitl trying to fend Quinton Byfield off. Winds it along for McDavid. Doughty collapsing on the centering pass off the pads of Kemper and then slid just wide. Byfield on it. Goal and now with the power play assist. Here's Jeff Malone. He dragged it around Pickard but couldn't fit it.
That was close. Just bobbled off the end of the stick, but he took that right through the blue paint.
Shot from distance. Edmondson in it, deflected ball, now Gavrikov. LA 3, Edmonton 2. 3.5 to go in the period. Edmondson wide open. Gavrikov in front, and they just missed the shot. Here's Kopitar. Gavrikov down low. Referee in the right. Nurse collide with Calvin Pickard. Fans felt otherwise. But Draisaitl ends up with the puck anyways, off to McDavid. And from center ice, they're conservatively backhanded on that. Kemper away from Frederick. Adrian Kemper up to Kuzmenko. Bowman denied a pass intended for Kopitar and Evander Kane. Up to Connor Brown with Adam Henrique in on the forecheck. It's Kane, a backhand score. Connor Brown finishes from Evander Kane, and we are tied at 3.
What a game this is becoming. Back and forth, both of these teams just will not be denied and continue to battle. The forecheck here, get in, win a battle. This spin move by Kane just to throw this to the front of the net. Get to the blue paint and stop. That's what Brown does, and he chops at this one, and it finds its way up over top of Kemper on a little bit of a knuckler. Tie game.
Able to disengage from Doughty, Louis, and finish. But Trevor Moore looking for the lead, and he jams it through Calvin Pickard. What a response by the Kings.
This is incredible. And, you know, we had this exact conversation with Jim Hiller this morning. You know, when you score a goal, sometimes you let your guard down a little bit, and you know the opposition is going to come back. It's happened in this series already. It happened in the game winner in Los Angeles in Game 1. And right off the face-off, Moore just will not be denied here. Gets the inside track on Deneau, and one-handed chops this one through Calvin Pickard. That is just staying in the hunt for this puck, and at the last second, he just gets a little flick on the forehand side that finds the back of the net. 9 seconds after the tying goal.
Oilers have outshot the Kings, but trail. Kevin Fiala breaks free, shoots, and saved made by Pickard. Picked it up through traffic, but Fiala won a battle against Frederick, and now a shot LaFerriere off the mask of Calvin Pickard. We saw one from Kemper earlier, and that was Calvin Pickard. His Frederick jackknifed over the boards in front of the LA bench. A bruising physical game with 20 seconds to go in the second period. Bouchard the stretch to Kane. Got the touch on it. Gowdy trying to reverse through Connor Brown. Kopitar nearly turned it over, but booted it away from Kane. Bouchard will challenge, try to get a shot off here. 2 seconds, and then Driscoll was blocked at the horn, LA. But Darcy Kemper came up with a couple of clutch stops to keep Edmonton at bay a little bit. And a friendly bounce off the crossbar for Bouchard. He and the Kings, 43-0-2 this year, Los Angeles, when they get at least 3 goals. They've got 4. Nurse trying to contain for Connor Brown. Briefly tied it for Edmonton, only to see it untied 9 seconds later by Trevor Moore.
What a backtrack by Genova.
Henrique swinging around to Brown, setting the screen for Kane. A shot up near the elongated mask is all he's got there, with Brown swimming to keep it alive for Klingberg. His shot says high and wide off the glass. And it's Laferriere trying to carve it out of traffic. Get some help from Byfield, and it's chiseled back to neutral ice. Klingberg wheels it around the boards for Arvidsson. Gowdy staples him there. Joining the fray is Arvidsson. Draisaitl around to Klingberg. Return to Leon Draisaitl. Up top, Wallman. A shot. That's skittered wide of a screen. Kemper. The rebound turned over by Byfield and kept alive by Podkolzin. Now Kemper has seen enough. They'll lunge at the puck, and Nurse standing for the net, tries to tuck it home. Kemper able to protect. McDavid and Nurse. Timer off the back foot, wide. Lifted out by Fogle. That aerial is tracked by Deneau. Trying to cut inside, backhand. The save made in against Janmark, who's able to control the face-off for Edmonton. Oilers about hit the Kings tonight, have the advantage in the face-off circle and shot attempts, but the Kings on top. Defense may point out, all that matters is the top line. That's where the Kings have controlled the series. Bouchard on the boards. Oilers build a lead tonight, couldn't hold it to Nurse. 1-1 down low. Janmark sealed off by Edmondson. Pop back into the offensive zone. The shot by Janmark. Afterwards, Perry couldn't slide underneath Kemper, who then makes a save from distance on Bouchard. Deneau under duress and Frederick a shot. LA a little sloppy with a puck of its own. So as I say that, the Kings get it clear. Frederick back to McDavid. Beautiful move. Quick hook to the one time save made. That's the face off Nugent Hopkins. Work down low. Hyman. McDavid. Hyman guides one out. Klingberg showing Slapper. Slide step to his right. Dropped off for McDavid. Trying to hit Nugent Hopkins. Sitting back door on the pass. Off target. McDavid's got it back. Dishes off. Nugent Hopkins. Right around. Kemper got it. And the shot stayed in. A plethora of bodies in front. And it likely ricocheted off one of them.
Talk about around the world. I mean, that was right on the line by McDavid. He's able to keep that alive, and then terrific chance around the net. The patience of Nugent Hopkins waits and tries to score from a sharp angle.
Kemper fully prostrate, but somehow the puck stays out. And Edmonton remains down a goal. Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson on the ice. Kulak tips it over to Podkolzin. Edmonton a wrap up below the end boards ahead for Kevin Fiala. And eventually that's flipped out of play. Edmonton ducks behind. The outlet to Fogle did not get it out. Held in by Kulak and Kane. Chopping away. Fogle and Deneau. But the puck stays in. Brown and Henrique. Fogle thought it was out. Will stick handle and drop it off. And now Edmonton's got to tag back up.
Fierce battle on that line. Those battles become so important.
Steered by Gavrikov up to Trevor Moore. Kings make certain of an up-hit. 15 minutes left in game 3. LA with the lead. Kulak smashed one on net, and Kemper will hold it. Off the face-off, Bouchard. Swing down low for Draisaitl. Walman shows shot. Here's one deflected by Kopitar to Kuzmenko. He took a hard hit, but was able to launch one down the middle. That's trapped by Walman. But Colson will shoot it in. Arvidsson against Drew Doughty. Wrapped up in the corner. Looks to keep it alive with his feet. Walman across to Bouchard. He's shot. Double deflection. Winds up on Draisaitl's take. Anderson picked it off. Didn't get it out initially. And now Kempe will spread the ice with puck possession for the Kings. This stick severed. Adrian Kempe with a goal and assist. The Kings hunting for some insurance. Edmondson put it down low.
Good save on that shot by Byfield.
The outlet side. Great chance for LaFerriere, and that winds up out of play as LA with a bit of a counter. Face-off win for the Kings. They've been dominating the circle tonight, but they came up with one when they needed it there. Here's Fogle. Tracked by McDavid out to Doughty. Across Mikey Anderson. Nurse able to dislodge. Bouchard to clear down the middle. This is going to be played by Kemper.
And along those points, Jack, in this series alone, there's 4 or 5 hits that would be automatic fights in the regular season, but in the playoffs, you just take it. You get back up and you keep battling. Well, that's the best hockey of the year. Everybody's in it.
Draisaitl glides his way in. McDavid in the mix. Here's Trevor Moore. Dishing off to Edmondson. Forced out by. Checked by Bouchard off the puck. Here's Connor McDavid.
There's another 3-on-2, Jack, out of the zone for the Los Angeles Kings, and it's happened throughout this series. Time Edmonton seems to have some time in the zone. The Kings are really quick to get up the rush, and Edmonton's got to recognize that. Can't allow them to get the next one. And for the Kings, they're sniffing. They're not sitting back trying to hold on to this lead once again. Good play by Bouchard to push it wide.
Little give and go, but pulls up from Walman. Get across the line, the return pass tipped. Walman got a shot away, rebound again. Offhand boards, Kemper has scrambled back into position, but pulls it back to Klingberg. Inside 12 minutes left in regulation, but pulls it from his knees. Klingberg, slide step, muscle down in his backhand pick. Screaming for a goal. Frederick a shot, and that was blocked by Clark. Rebound, battled for. Kopitar able to tug it free for Kuzmenko, and right up the gut for Clark. Clark flat, but he took the hit to get it in deep.
It's tough. He's got some jam.
He's been blasted a couple times tonight. Here's Brett Kulak skating his way to the right-hand side. One man line, Doughty hard, held in by Nurse. Henrique back down low to Evander Kane. Nudged it to Brown. Quick shot, Kulak, the shot is by Kemper. Kane battling for the rebound from the Ferrier. Sealed off Fiala. Against Henrique, up to Byfield, and in deep. Picker wraps it around the boards. Kane, the head of steam, barreling down the left-hand side. The Ferrier able to catch up to him. Kane, a hard rim that's going to be held in. No, Kulak got to get past him, and Edmonton must reload. 10.5 to go. A nervous vibe reverberating throughout Rogers Place. Oilers season feels like it's on the precipice. Bouchard to Hyman. Gavrikov up on the plexi. Moore quickly to Deneau and swiftly out from Fogle. If you put too much on it, big bounce, that'll be icing. Key face-off win for Danault. Couple in his D zone in the last few minutes. And from center, he'll dump it toward the Edmonton net. Walman picks it up. Over to Bouchard. Less than 10 minutes remaining. Kings looking to close it out. Draisaitl hits the line. Game 4 looming on Sunday. Here's McDavid cutting behind the net. Doughty got a stick on puck, but McDavid shouldered it to the side. Got to Bouchard. Down low for Perry. Corey Perry's 218th postseason game. Bouchard slid to his right. Draisaitl tried to get it back to him. Out of his reach, but Perry with a secondary layer of support. Grappling for puck possession. Outfoxed by Kopitar and chipped out by Fogle. There's 5 third-period shots for Edmonton. Draisaitl locates McDavid. Trying to get around Fiala. Brushed back to Kulak. His shot doesn't make its way on net. And Karam's back to center. Quiet in this building right now, Louis.
Very quiet. And they understand that not a lot's happening. Los Angeles doing a pretty solid job here, just defending, keeping it to the outside, chipping it out, chipping it in, and Edmonton continues to try and put it back in there and find that chance they're looking for.
Klingberg starts the rush. Arvidsson, snapshot off the post. Bouchard a crossbar in the second. Arvidsson a goal post here in the third. Fiala from distance, and that was slotted into the corner by Decker. That wakes the crowd up a little bit. That goal post. Nugent Hopkins to Frederick. His shot. Deflected by Harris. Can't get there. Clark does. Up to Moritz now. Arvidsson reaching. Kings come away with the puck. Send it deep. Kempe. But Bolson. Line. Keep it down low. Danault to Kempe. This is more possession than anything, Louis. Not necessarily a challenge, but keeping the Oilers from grabbing possession. Finally put Bolson able to chip and charge.
And it's important for Edmonton to stay patient. I know that sounds counterproductive, but don't allow that next one against. They have to keep defending, look for the chances the right way.
Arvidsson hit the post, but it's been more than 4 minutes since an actual shot credited on net for Edmonton. Here's Kulak trying to change that. Denies it. Kulak had gotten the last shot on goal. Here's McDavid looking down low for Draisaitl. That did not make its way through, but McDavid won a battle from Anderson. Draisaitl out to Walman. Walman shot. Stayed out. Kemper can't wrap up the rebound. McDavid throws it in front. Scores! Red light goes on. No official indication. Edmonton celebrating as though this game is tied.
People around the net are celebrating here. They had the best look of the Canes. Pretty certain this went in. Huge goal here. And stay with it. You just talked about not a lot of shots, but you have to do it the right way. Play good defense, get the puck in behind, and just dig away. And that's what happens here. The hard around by McDavid that set this in motion brings this from behind the net out front and then crammed the net. They're taking a long look at this, having a discussion.
Let's see.
Well, he did kick the first one, and it went into the pad right here. Bam, off the back. And then does he bat it with the stick over the line? It looks like it comes back a little bit, and his stick is what finishes it in the net. I mean, Kemper is sprawled out here. He's in a bad position. Certainly this one is kicked. But then it's the stick, I think, that puts that all the way home.
The player of Edmonton was kicking the puck, but was able to play it before he crossed the line. Therefore, we have a good goal.
Just what you said, Mark.
There was a lot of action around Kemper, and I wonder if Jim Hiller right now, who's pretty poised on this bench, he's calling over the officials right now. He's going to look for a timeout. I think they're going to take a look at this and decide whether they want a challenge for goalie interference. Is
They
what
are
I think
taking
they're going
a
to do.
timeout. They're
LA
going to.
has
Look at
challenged the
this.
goal on the ice for goaltender interference.
Wow, they're gonna.
They are going to. This is a gutty call from Jim Heller.
There's the first chop, the second chop. I don't see him. He's getting pushed by Kopitar. You have to look at that. And then he's getting shoved by Kopitar on that play as well. I gotta be honest, partner, I'm not seeing the goalie interference, but we'll take a look from a different angle. Here's one chop, second chop. He definitely catches puck there. That's a good play. He is getting pushed a little bit outside the blue paint. Now he's in. But Kemper, the way he moved, I don't think Kane interfered with him.
And he's not really shoving the pad across.
And you got to remember, Kopitar is shoveling, bulldozing him right into the blue paint, too. He's trying to not let him score that. Now, there is some contact with the right skate of Kane.
After review, the call on the ice stand.
There you go.
We have a goal. And it will be assessed a 2-minute minor for delay game.
Well, you know what they always say. It's not how many you get, it's when you get them.
Oilers tied at 4. Here's Draisaitl, the pass. Goal! Edmonton needs just 10 seconds to regain the lead. It's 5-4.
With his second power play goal of the game. Short work of this power play. And it's him that enters the zone, drives through the defenders, opens up a beautiful pass right on the tape redirection. Have to respect the shot from Draisaitl down Main Street, and Bouchard with a perfect redirection. Edmonton with the lead once again.
The Oilers in 10 seconds have turned a 1-goal deficit into a 1-goal lead. Some kind of hockey game, some kind of series. Oiler goals in 10 seconds, turning a 1-goal deficit into a 1-goal lead. And this crowd in an absolute frenzy. Here's Drew Doughty. The great thing about Game 3 is there's still 6 minutes remaining. Here's Kuzmenko. Kopitar to Anderson. Drew Doughty. Kopitar. One-timer Doughty, and that stayed out. Rebound. Front four controlled by Hyman. Did not get it out, though. Kuzmenko over to Kempe. Wallpapered by Nurse. Out to Anderson. One touch Doughty and chipped down low to Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko a backhand save. No backhand. Game 1 is starting to look like a slow down as compared to tonight. Here's Hyman against Doughty. Saw 3 goals in the final 2 minutes of regulation in that one. Here's Fiala. He waits. And his pocket picked by Draisaitl. Kept her on by Clark. And now Fiala putting it through Draisaitl the second time. Clark hesitates. Dishes on to Edmondson. Then back to LaFerriere. Clark was in a shooting position there. Elected to go back to the perimeter. Klingberg wrapped up with Fiala and LaFerriere. Around the boards, Edmondson. Calling for Clark, instead back down low. Fiala. Now Clark. Swings it looking for Byfield. Disrupted by Klingberg. Arvidsson with 4.5 to go. Wedges it softly down the middle. That'll be pulled out by Clark. Up to center. He'll shovel it. One hopper toward Pickard. Quickly to Bouchard. Lifted ahead. Connor Brown puts it down low. Henry first on the puck. Crashed into by Fogle. Out to center, but that's all. Nurse ahead to Evander Kane. Got the equalizer, but here, and Hyman protecting against gamer golf as LA eventually gains possession. We'll keep an eye on Darcy Kemper. Who's been beaten for 5 goals on 32 shots. Continues to be serenaded by his side ground. Here's Trevor Moore. He'll shovel it in deep. Round by one. Pressure from Byfield. Nugent Hopkins. And Steve, he'll dump it in. New Jersey won it overtime, so home Wilson control away. And now Kulak blistered one down the middle. The speed of Yanmark negates icing. Going for the puck, but ripped into the chest of Kemper by Adam Henrique. With clean face-off when Draisaitl snapshot speared by Kemper. And he elects to keep it moving.
No whistle.
I don't think Arvidsson recognized it initially. Now he does. Kopitar back to Adrian Kempe. Kempe thinking about going to the bench. He sprints for the bench, but Kulak knocked it down. The puck skimming free for Nurse. He's swarmed under by Kopitar. 2:10 to go. The puck held in by Doughty at the line. Kings trailing 5-4. Fiala pressing for the equalizer. Defended by Kulak around the boards. Kopitar. Now Doughty. Kopitar. Snap pass gets it back from Fiala. Doughty a one-timer. Saves Pepper. Rebound available and now frozen. Kempe's going to be ridden out of there. Kopitar won it. Kempe has had a huge series. A goal and assist tonight. Over to Doughty. And now Kopitar chased by Nugent Hopkins. Saucer back down. He struggled to maintain it. Hopkins took it away. David has it up in there. He'll skate it. The Red game through.
There's the stick by Nugent Hopkins. The little bobble of the puck. Doughty's got to try and settle it down. And Zach Hyman has been relentless with the physicality. Knocks him over. Finds the puck out into the zone. And Connor McDavid, you're not catching him in the neutral zone. It's the stick of Nugent Hopkins that bobbles this puck. The aggression of Hyman. And then Connor McDavid says, we're putting this away. But the Los Angeles Kings have other plans here with still a minute and a half on the clock.
Nurse with control. Put it behind the net for Brett Kulak. Didn't get it out initially. Kemper is still launched between the pipes here because Edmonton has possession. So when Kulak golfs it in, the Kings have to reset. And now pressure from Henry. Moore fell down. No penalty was called. Draisaitl sends one tumbling toward Kemper here in the third period. Remember, 7 minutes to go. The Kings were up one. Off the draw, Kemper sprints for the bench with a minute to go. Shot in by Kempe. Kings trying to make it interesting here. Kopitar with his team down 6-4. Kempe, Fando, slid off the heel of a stick and then punched out to Kopitar. Doughty showing one time. Kopitar fires. And that was deflected to the corner. Trevor Moore, Fiala, and Kopitar inside, deflected away. Arvidsson's got it empty now. He'll skate to center. Can't get it on net. Taken away by Kuzmenko. Fiala on the battlefield. Drove past Fiala. Inside. Kempe trying to save it. Out the pick. 20 seconds to go. Yanmark trying to pin it along the boards. Oilers working the Kings over. Fiala in front. What a save! Rolling out. Kopitar lifted down the ice. Race for the net. And Burr scores. 7-4. Edmonton. Deneau wins the face-off. And for the second time all year, the Kings lose in regulation. We're leading after 2. What a game! What a series! Edmonton's on the board. Oilers 4 unanswered at the third to claim a 7-4 victory.